Welcome to the Grooveschool podcast in association with Three Space and International House. Today, our fantastic guests, we have Billy and Tom from Divert. Hello, good afternoon, guys.
Hello, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, all good.
So I'm going to ask you the questions that we usually ask people so we've got some consistency, but it's all about your personal journeys.
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone meeting you for the first time today, tell us a little bit about Divert and what you do.
Go on, Bill, you first.
Okay, cheers. So, best way to capture it is Divert is a project. It's a project in partnership, delivered in partnership with the Metropolitan Police.
Mm-hmm.
We are funded externally from away from the police. So, we are an independent program whereby we focus on supporting young adults with lived experience of the criminal justice system. So young adults specifically who've at the point when they are in police detention, in police custody. So Divert is unique, certainly in London, but Divert is unique in that it's sort of the first project of its kind to I guess do what's called early intervention,
right.
Whereby obviously young people who we meet, who we engage with in custody, it's different to a prison cell, whereby people are there for long periods of time. Custody is
it's quite fresh.
Yes, quite fresh, temporary.
Mm-hmm.
So Divert in its beauty, we go in and speak to young adults, essentially with a focus on trying to support them with, to challenge their thinking as to what the next step may look like once they are released, to prevent the likelihood of it happening again.
Preventative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So both of you, I'll ask you separately, how did you get into this and what first pushed you in this direction and this experience?
Yeah, I think I'll kick off on that one, Bill. So my one's quite an interesting one because my mum was a solicitor for 25 years.
Right.
So, in my formative years when I was growing up and learning a lot about the world, I was sort of surrounded by what she would be doing at work, and I was always really interested. And obviously, I'd listen to certain conversations she'd be having with clients on the phone, and I was just like, wow, this is profound. That sort of that side of the world, if you will, and I had my interest from there, whether it had been actually becoming a solicitor or a barrister, or getting into some form of youth work or intervention or whatever it was. But yeah, I think when I got to probably about 18, when I knew I wasn't going to be a professional footballer, I was never nowhere near it. Let's be absolutely clear.
Plan B.
Exactly that. And C. I had to do something that was the next best thing, and for me that was working with young people and getting involved with supporting the next generations and growing up where we grew up in South London, sort of around Bermondsey and then later up to Shooters Hill and those areas. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of opportunity, not a lot of role models. A lot of us come from sort of single parent households, obviously just mums doing two people's jobs, supporting families, etc. So yeah, man, and then just sort of fell into opportunities, and 18 years later.
So quite a formative influence from a young age.
For sure. That was
fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. And you, Billy?
Yeah, for me. So growing up, I think from the point when I was in my teenage years, through to the end of school, I had this dream, this fascination, passion, whatever however you may describe it, to go into policing, to become a detective, and sort of this idea of me solving all these sort of well thought out cases, let's say, a bit dramatized, but yeah, that was my, in terms of me getting into criminal justice, that was my route into criminal justice. And then it was funny, we had a conversation a few weeks ago. Circumstances changed.
Are you saying you could have been Columbo, Billy?
No, I
don't incriminate yourself, Bill. Give yourself a no comment if needs be. It's being recorded.
No, my parents always told me I was observant, and I would notice changes. I would notice, like something was missing, or I would remember, I guess we all have different learning styles, but so criminal justice, I had this idea, this dream. I went to university, did a criminology degree, enjoyed it, sort of with a focus on maintaining that path into policing,
Right.
with a focus on police, criminal investigation, that side of things. Then came a sort of unfortunate / fortunate, a bit of a crossroads moment, where, and I believe, in hindsight, everything happens for a reason. Essentially,
Absolutely.
I went down the route of applying to join the police as a constable, as an officer.
Right.
That application got rejected. On
Their losses, Divert's
yes,
gains,
exactly.
obviously.
Their losses.
So-
That's well wrapped up, Tahlee. Their losses, Divert's gains. So that then changed. I stepped into another route with criminal justice. So away from like the front line role, but more of an administrative role. And then in that role, I got to meet many people who found themselves arrested and obviously in custody at various stages of the justice system. And it was a very process driven role, very administrative role in parts. And I never forget this one moment. I said this one shift rather. And there was this very young lad, and if I think about it long enough, I will remember his name, but it's not coming to me at the moment, and I wouldn't say it anyway. But this young lad, who I got speaking to, he was very emotional about his circumstance and where he found himself, and also his safety. His safety and his family's safety. And I never ever forget, that really stayed with me. That conversation that we had.
Did it leave you feeling like you could do more?
Yes, exactly that. From that was again that sort of that eureka moment, let's say. But I walked away from that thinking, I want to do more. I want to see
practical,
to help a lot of these young people, because listening to his story, I'm there thinking, well, I'm not surprised you've been arrested. I don't cast any judgment. I'm not surprised. Life is unfair. We all get dealt different hands. The dice rolls differently for us all. Coming away from that interest in policing and that side of things, more of policing. The law isn't binary. That sort of right and wrong, good and bad. It doesn't. It's often very, very grey. So channeling that. Learning about Divert and where I was working, learning about Divert in custody.
You're thinking this is a better fit.
Yeah, really, the chap who was delivering Divert in custody at the time, we got on really, really well, learning more about it, and I just had an affinity with Divert, what it stood for. I remember meeting Tom before, and
thinking it's a good match. Good
yeah,
fit.
yeah. And maybe a year, 2 years down the line from that, an opportunity came up, and
amazing.
Yeah, here I am.
That's where we are. That's where we are now.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, that's both interesting paths for you, but it's obviously I've seen Divert. I see how you guys work together, and seeing you do effective things. That's so much more. It's what you're about. It's not just about like you're saying, the paperwork, the administration. You're making real change.
Yes,
and that's really important.
Yes, definitely.
So, what is your drive now? What is at the heart of your mission? What are you trying to create with Divert?
Oh,
I find it's quite a simple answer, It's just leaving people and places a little bit better than how you found it.
That's great.
To be as concise and succinct, that's literally what it is. And I always say to the team, we've got a great team. I have I've got a core set of non-negotiables, but the main one is just say what you're going to do. Was it?
If you're going to say,
say,
yeah,
is that
yeah,
that
yeah.
if you're going to say it, do it. Essentially,
and just because we're working with a group of, we work with 18 to 25-year-olds essentially, and
I
it's
imagine some of those people have been
tough.
let down.
Yeah,
so
yes,
they
constantly
need
let down.
consistency. They need to see that you're going to
enormously.
step up and do
For sure.
be there.
yes.
So I just, our modus operandi, if you will, is, you lock in and do what you've got to do, because at some point in time, in the not too distant future, there's going to be those eureka moments that were mentioned earlier, where these young adults are going to turn around and be like, I remember what Billy said to me. I remember what Tom said to me. And that was,
if you can consistently prove that you're there and that you're
that's what it is.
consistent.
So yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's what I'd say.
and also just to add to that, Tahlee, it's like, helping young people, guiding them. For us all, it's that joy in helping these individuals sort of recognise their own ability, their own
potential.
talent, their own potential. and
especially considering that they're turning away from a very crucial point in their lives, which could go either way, essentially.
100%.
So if you can show them that there's a better way, a different way, then inspire them to do that and practically find a way to do that, that's fantastic.
100%. And we try to create that psychological safety with these humans that we work with, to let them learn life as well, but at the same time be completely non-judgmental and impartial on that journey with them as well. Because
so, I imagine it's not a 9 to 5 kind of job. You must
no. If you want a 9 to 5, you don't do this work. And if you want a role where you can just shut the laptop at 5, then this world that we work in isn't for you. But like I always say, let's do it. We're the people, so we're happy to lock in and do it. So
you're the right people for the right job.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, that's what we like to hear. It's good actually happening in real time and real terms.
For sure.
That's amazing. So what does your organisation actually offer the community? I mean, you've been talking about what you do, but what impact have you done so far that you've been most proud of? Is there one particular scenario or a situation or a particular something that you can think of that's really made you go, yes, this has absolutely been worth it, or in terms of either getting some funding that makes you sort of solidify what you're doing or working towards, or someone that you don't know names, obviously, but just someone going, I've seen a success that's made it all worthwhile.
I'll give a general one, and then Bill, I know you can lock in and give a specific one because But if you think including from the pilot where Divert sort of originated from in 2015, we're now in 2026, 11 years. We've worked probably with well over 12,000 young adults, 18 to 25 across London.
Now, and it's across London.
So that in itself is profound. If you're talking about landmarks and moments to reflect on and be very proud of, considering there was only
amazing numbers.
Yeah, for sure. Considering that, and then 1 in 3 of those go into education, training, employment. But I know there's a lot of human work that goes on that probably doesn't get promoted as much as it should. But that's for another day. But considering Divert come off the back of probably three or four custody coaches initially in its inception, and I was, I'm proud to say that I was one of those with one of our colleagues here, Angel, and a couple other members of staff. So that's quite a significant bit of progress.
Very significant.
But individual case studies, I'm sure you've got one or two that you can share.
Yeah, I think there's one specific case that I never forget, and it was I don't think it was too long into my time with Divert, but it was with young people. So I'm not sure if I said at the start, but Divert or Tom may have covered, but Divert, we operate in specific custody suites across the busiest London boroughs of which reflects in the police numbers, etc., police figures. So we operate it more often than not. There is one custody suite per borough.
Right.
And
that's not a lot, is it? Really?
No. Often I think that's reflected in the funding changes in policing over the last few years.
Right.
So yes, so as much as I'm here, and I deliver Divert in Brixton, in Lambeth. Equally, we've got fantastic colleagues in other areas of London. Yeah. But so yes. So getting back to the one of the examples that I never forget, a young person. Essentially, what it boils down to, a lot of the work that we do is helping young people to recognise their potential, and also in doing so, like Tom said, we do come across a lot of the human work where there's been gaps, where there's been there's been a lack of nurture, and it is quite eye-opening.
It's how people fall through the cracks.
Absolutely, and I sort of explained, or I summed it up to myself rather a while back as the iceberg sort of concept, where you've got the 10% at the top, which you can see, and which you think is 50%, and then you don't know that there's so much more underneath the surface. So yes, getting back to the question. Sorry, Tahlee. I can think of 3 clear examples. One I never ever forget, of this young chap who had fallen through the cracks, played ice hockey, had qualifications as a plumber or an electrician, and and it was so employable, more employable than what I'd say I am myself. But he's so employable and very, you know, could articulate himself very well. And I said to him, "Do you believe in yourself?" And he said, "No." And he said it as if I said, "Do you want to?"
Just straight out.
Yeah, no. You know, and sort of working with him over time, channeling that you know, that belief, the mindset, etc. And you know, he went on to get into work, to you know, to get on a better pathway. There were
Self-belief.
there were bumps along the way. So that as one example, and other examples of young people, specific to Lambeth, specific to Brixton, young people who we have sat down with, where there is stuff going on, we recognise it, we understand it, we accept it, and we want to work with it. And seeing that young person, seeing those individuals, you know, elevate themselves to a point where one, yes, they're productive, they're engaged in something, but they have that belief in themselves.
Yeah,
you know, away from like the societal sort of environmental expectations, stigmas, all that sort of stuff. It's one of the key things that drives me and it drives us. You know,
what's amazing. I mean, you're changing lives one life at a time.
Yeah.
You know, they all contribute. You know, and they all. I mean, to give someone self-belief when they haven't got it is incredible, especially if they've been in custodial situations or they've come from you know, very different backgrounds, and that hasn't been the norm. So that's you're doing good work. Good community work.
Sure. Learn from the best.
No. Stop it, make it blush on camera. But I think just to segue that as well is that there's an element of it as well where these young adults in their lives and how they perceive the world may be seen as something or be a significant person within their peer group. To us, they are just their first and last name, the people that they are, which is just magic for us. And I think, you know, that the appreciation that we get from those young people as well, because we just accept them for who they are. Yeah. And there's no judgment, and you know it's just magical when you then bump into these young adults when, you know,
I was going to say,
when
if
you're
you're bumping them
when you're out and about
and
they'll cross the road and flag you down and be like, oh, you know what's good to see
That's
you.
amazing.
You know, can we take you for lunch, or can we use you as a reference when they're getting like it's that's what it's all about. But those are the things that are not always quantifiable, but they're the things that are
the little wins.
They're the things that mean the most to us, to be fair. So
that's fantastic. Well, it's clear that you're doing great work in the community. So this is the bit where I ask you, what's coming next? What should we look out for? And if people want to get in contact with you, do you take volunteers? Do you take people to help, or is there other ways that people can help? Get in touch, ask any queries if they've got someone of interest at themselves that they think could be, you know, benefit from your services. How do we do this? Yeah,
for sure. I mean, well, what's next is, you know, we're going through an exciting business development piece at the moment. Can't give too much away right now, but it's to basically to fortify Divert's existence for the long term. So everyone can just keep their eyes peeled with that. Obviously, we're on our LinkedIn, so Divert LinkedIn. Great. So I'd say if everyone can lock in there and promote, you know, our good work. We put out good news stories and
fantastic,
good avatars.
Good avatars, good animes. You know,
excellent.
You know, so but you know, we use that to promote our message. So anyone that can jump on that and promote LinkedIn. Okay, great. And obviously, you know, we're on there as well. So you know, hit us up and you know, we can have those discussions, further discussions around potential volunteering. Obviously, there's safeguards and certain vetting pieces that we need to look at, risk assessment, but just lock in with us on those social networks.
Collaboration is always good.
Collaboration is always good.
Social media or
so LinkedIn and Instagram. For Divert and Instagram, we've got that as well, and obviously myself on LinkedIn, Tom Rolt, and obviously Billy Musgrove on LinkedIn as well. So hit us up, and collaboration, like what Billy said. If there's anybody out there that wants to support the demographics the young adults that we work with, we're here, man. We're here for the collaboration. We can only do what we do because of the phenomenal stakeholders that we have. You know, without them, hard outcomes.
Going strong, guys.
100%. So that's where we're at, man. Yeah.
Well, that's been very revelatory and inspirational at the same time. Good to see that you've been doing such good work in the community, and long may it continue.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Just want to say thank you for coming to the podcast today, and hopefully it'll shine a light for some people that have seen you around the building potentially and thought, what do these guys do?
Yeah.
It's nice to actually put names to faces and what everyone does.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having us.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Now, I'm just going to ask you a couple of additional little questions,
Yeah.
which I feel is kind of more to get to know you guys, obviously, because we see you around.
Yeah.
How, just off the cuff, is this different to anything you've done before? Is this like you've talked about your path a little bit, but is this sort of, compared to what you've worked on before, do you feel this is something that is really a new direction for you? Or do you think it just is consistently makes sense from your path?
Yeah.
New for me.
Yeah.
Divert was
Yeah.
in terms of working with young adults. I've worked in schools in Peru's before.
Right.
But yeah, working with young adults in a one-to-one capacity, mentoring, support, coaching, etc. is new for me. And I'm forever blessed for the opportunity to step into Divert, step into this field of work. Forever grateful for Tom and his mentorship and his leadership and really guiding me over the last few years. And it's had I think when I was actually thinking about this just this morning about the where my head was, when I was sort of pursuing had the dream that I was pursuing with getting into the police, compared to now how I viewed the world, how I, and everything in between, how much it's changed, and I'm so glad because I think it's for the better. I think it's made me a better person, just a little bit, just a tiny bit. New for me.
Amazing. So this is more of a localised personal question. How did you get on your journey to International House? What you brought you here specifically? Because this is obviously the Grooveschool 3-Space podcast. What was your journey to International House? Was it via anyone else, or how did you end up here?
It's a legacy piece from our sort of senior leadership team, really, having the connections in and around Brixton.
Yes.
We found ourselves on the 6th floor. Been here for a long time, and we absolutely love it. It's a safe space
Good
for
networking.
Great networking, safe space for us, and it's a safe space for our young people as well, which again is massive.
I imagine you've got some links to the first floor. Does that ever come up? Yes or no?
Yes, occasionally through
Occasionally with UNS.
Yes.
With Winston and the team. Big up Winston and everything that him and G do as well. A lot of good work's going on there. Big up, man.
Yeah, fantastic. And this is just a little less formal. What do you like to do around Brixton? Any secret places you'd like to let us in on? People can have a listen.
I'm locking in, right? Go on, get to the rooftop saunas. Obviously, come and have a pizza as well up in the Bird's Nest. I'm plugging it. So I'm here for the sponsorship. I'll be honest. It's not even. That's probably as bougie as I get. The saunas here and a cheeky pizza. Half price ones.
Perks.
Tuesday, Wednesdays, half price pizzas, 12 to 5.
Rising tendency.
Nice plug, guys.
Nice plug.
I'm sure the Bird's Nest will be very grateful
I
for
hope
that.
so. Looking at the camera. Thank you. But over to you, Bill.
For me, let me think. You put me on the spot there, Tom.
Were you going to say the same thing, Billy?
He was.
Fish Wings and Tings, I believe.
Oh yeah,
in the market.
Market Road.
They had a different spot somewhere else. I think they moved a few years ago. Not so secret because I think it's quite popular. But
always good to get a recommendation.
Always
good food in Brixton.
good.
So anything that stands out is worth noting.
Yes. It won't come to me. I learned a few weeks back that my knowledge of Brixton, like geography, the roads, isn't as profound as it should be.
That's
So
right.
I think that's an invitation.
If it's worth looking up, people can look it up. That's
100%.
Yeah.
Get to Brixton.
Get to Brixton and have a little
Special
explore.
place. Special place.
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you for your time today
Thank
and
you.
sharing your bountiful knowledge on everything from your journeys, your path, and what Divert does, which is fantastic. You've been really helpful with that. Thank you. And if people want to come and say hi in the building, they know who you are now.
100%.
Yes. 6th floor.
Right.
6th floor.
Thanks
Cup of
so
tea on the
much.
go. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
Have a cup of tea.
Nice one.
Excellent.
Thanks,
All right,
Tahlee.
thanks, guys.
Thank you. Cheers.
You've been listening to the What's Going On podcast here at Grooveschool at 3-Space International House.